So now we'll continue at the top of page 43, and we'll look at some other types of problems that this uses the same idea but with a little bit of a twist. So here we have 87 inches and we're trying to change it to feet and inches. So you can look on your page, or you probably know that 1 foot is 12 inches. So we're going to start off exactly the same as we have been. We have 87 inches over 1. We'll put the inches on the bottom, so we have 12 inches, and that leaves the 1 foot to go on the top. That's good because the inches cancel out. We multiply straight across and we get 87 over 12 feet. So when we divide 87 divided by 12, we get 7.25 feet. Now that would be okay if our answer only wanted feet, but it wants feet and inches. So this 7 that's in front is the 7 feet. So let's figure out how many inches that is. And we could do the same thing. We have 7 feet over 1. This time we want the feet to be on the bottom and the inches on the top. That way the feet cancels out. So we do 7 times 12, and we get 84 over 1 inches, or 84 inches. Well, we started off with 87 inches, and the 7 feet gives us 84 inches. So how many are left? 87 minus 84 gives me 3 inches left. So that means that there's 3 here. Part B goes the opposite direction. Here we have 9 pounds, 7 ounces. So let's first of all deal with the 9 pounds. We'll put it over 1. We can look on our weight and we see that 1 pound is 16 ounces. So we want the 1 pound to be on the bottom and the 16 ounces to be on the top. So the pound will cancel out. And we take 9 times 16 and we get 144 over 1 ounces, or 144 ounces. Well, that's good for the 9 pounds, but we also had 7 more ounces. So we need to take that 144 and add the 7 more ounces, and we get 151 ounces. So let's look at this problem. So here we have yards and rods. Now the issue is that on your page it says length, but on your page it doesn't have anything with yards and rods. The only place that rods is mentioned under length is that it's equal to 16.5 feet. So we can get from rods to feet, but not rods and yards. Well, that's okay. If we can get from rods to feet, then we can just look for a way to get from feet to yards. And we know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So let's use all of this. Again, we'll start with what we see, what we're given. We'll put it over 1. And now we're looking for something that we wrote down that has yards in it. So here's my yards information. So I'm going to use that to write my next fraction. The yards here was on top, so I'm going to put the 1 yard on the bottom and the 3 feet on the top. So that will help me cancel out my yards. Well, now I've got this feet information, so now I want to use this piece that I got to change the feet. So I'm going to do it all at once. I'm going to write another fraction here. The feet here were on the top, so I want these feet to be on the bottom, and I'm going to write 16.5 feet because we know 1/2 is the same thing as 0.5. And then 1 rod will go on the top. And that again is good because the feet will now cancel out. 1 foot is on the top, 1 feet is on the bottom. So now we just multiply straight across. We take 11 times 3 times 1, and we get 33. 1 times 1 times 16.5 is 16.5. We have rods left. That's good. That's what we wanted. And we get 2 rods. So here's one more with the same idea. We want to get from gallons to pints. This is capacity. We don't have anything that gets from gallons to pints. We can go from gallons to quarts, and from quarts to pints. So we'll use that. We'll start with the gallons. So we'll have 12 gallons over 1. And then we'll use the gallons fraction. So we'll put the gallons on the bottom and the quarts on the top. That will cancel out our gallons. Now we can deal with the quarts with the next fraction. The quart is on top, so we'll put the quart on the bottom and the pints on the top. And that will cancel out the quarts. So now we can multiply straight across. 12 times 4 times 2 is 96. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. We have pints left. So we get 96 pints. Okay, and example 5 is the same idea, but here we have a couple different things going on. Here this means miles per hour, and this is feet per second. So we need to go from miles to feet. So we'll look at that on our page. That's distance, and we see that we have 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. Now we also have time here. We have hours and seconds. And we can see on our page that 1 hour is equal to 3,600 seconds. So when we write our first fraction, we'll have the 55 miles. Per means divided by, so we divide it by 1 hour. So let's deal with the miles part first, using this fraction. The miles is on top, so I'm going to put the 1 mile on the bottom. And we'll put the 5,280 feet on the top. So now the miles will cancel out. But now we need to deal with this time. So we're going to use this other piece over here. We're going to put another fraction, just line it up. But here my 1 hour is in the bottom, so I'm going to put this 1 hour on the top and the 3,600 seconds on the bottom. Because this hour is in the bottom, this hour is in the top, they'll cancel out. And then we just multiply straight across. So we have 55 times 5,280 times 1. And we get 294,000. And this has feet over 1 times 1 times 3,600. And there's seconds here. So then we take that 290,400 and we divide by 3,600. And we get 80.666. And it'll be feet per second. Let's look at our significant digits. We have 2 significant digits here, so we want our answer to have 2 significant digits. That'd be the 8 and the 0, but the number after the 0 is a 6. So the 0 needs to go up. So our final answer would be 81. And it was feet over seconds, which is feet divided by seconds. Here, 8 feet per second. So our final answer is 81 feet per second. We'll look at another one here. This is the same idea. Here we have 3.8 inches per second. So we would write that as 3.8 inches over 1 second. Let's look at our units. Here we have inches and we're trying to go to feet. So we need our equation that tells us that. 1 feet is 12 inches. Here we have seconds and we're trying to go to minutes. So we need to know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So we'll use the inches part first. Here the inches is on top, so we'll put the 12 inches on the bottom. And then we'll do our time. Here the seconds are on top, so we want the seconds. Here the seconds are on the bottom, so we want the seconds to be on the top. So the inches will cancel out here. The seconds will cancel out here. And then we multiply straight across. 3.8 times 1 times 60. And we get 228. 1 times 12 times 1 is 12. We'll have feet on the top and minutes on the bottom. That's good. That's what we want, feet over minutes. So we'll take 228 and we'll divide by 12, and we get 19 feet per minute. And that will be our last example for this lesson.